Are you wondering what's going on in the real estate market right now? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be going over all kinds of numbers, inventory, and so forth. They're gonna help you understand what's going on in the South Florida real estate market right now. If you don't know who we are, my name is Alex Haigh, and I work with a trusted group of professionals that love data, love to help people find the right house. So what we're gonna be talking about today is that data and how our team can help use this data to help you make an incredible decision. So let's get right into the content. All right, so this market analysis is an overarching market analysis. This puts together all the MLSs going all the way from Indian River County down even into Dade County. So this particular analysis right here takes all of those properties. So that's the 29,949. That's all of the properties on MLS active on the market right now. That's condos, villas, townhomes, manufactured homes, and everything. Sometimes this stuff can be a little dry, but we're gonna try to make it a little fun for you here. Now you can see these bar graphs going, this goes back 14 months, right? So we go all the way back to 7/22, that's 25,772 properties were on the market. What you can see, 8/22, 9/22, 11/22, you can see that that inventory started to rise, right? But then it hit in December and January, but this is the overarching market. When people say, what's going on in the market? You can say, hey, this is where the inventory's at as a collective, right? So you can see the inventory went up until right around January, and then it started going down. And it hit its bottom right around June at 27,129 properties total on the market. And then it started going up. And this is the story here, that it's starting to creep up a little bit. Third and fourth quarter, it always creeps up because the snowbirds are gone. The people have moved for school. So if you're looking at this, please look at it from understanding this is a third quarter, very, very typical that inventory goes up in the third quarter, okay? Now, as we move down, this is the average price per square foot, right? So the average price per square foot back 7/22 of last year was $305 a square foot. That's all of the properties put together, living square footage under air. So that's air conditioned, all right? So as we move on, you can see that it shot up significantly. It went kind of sideways from 305, 299, 301, 310, so forth, all the way over to 317 in February of this year, and then it shot up. So what ended up happening is the inventory started coming back off the market in January and February of this year, and inventory started going down. Prices started going up on average per square foot. On average, remember, this is a giant data set. So if we move down, this last bit in this graph that I want you to see is this is the month's supply of inventory. So you can see over here, right? So this is single family homes, condos, villas, townhomes, and so forth. No price point. I'm gonna get into some price points later. They're gonna show you we're in a seller's market in some price points. We're actually in a buyer's market in other price points, so stay tuned for that. For a seller's market is under 3 months of inventory, given absorption. A neutral market is between 3 and 6. That's a neutral market. And over 6 months of inventory is actually considered a buyer's market. So what we can see here in July of last year, it was just barely in that neutral market, 3 months. 3 months again in September. As we went up into October, November, December, you can see the inventory going up, and it hit its top in January of 2023 of this year at 5.7 months of inventory. Now that went down, as we saw with the other graphs, that the inventory went down, closings went up, pendings went up, and ultimately it ate that inventory up, it absorbed that inventory, if you will, and went back into a neutral market, and then in a seller's market, even in June, for a total market, July was 2.9 months of inventory, and then it crept back up, and then just last month, in September, it went up to 4.3 months of inventory. So that's the general market overall. I do want to go back here and let you know I mentioned it. So if we go back to this original graph, that bottom line is the solds and the pendings. So those run in kind of an inverse relationship, meaning if something goes up, the other thing goes down. That's inverse. The inventory went up, and you can see the pendings went down. That's the black line. And then that other bar down there, those are the solds. those actually started to go down as the pendings went down, but then all of that started to go up, and then the inventory came off the market. So that's going to be helpful for our later graphs here. So let's get into the next graph. Now the next graph is single family homes. So I took out all of the condos, all of the villas, all of the townhomes. This is single family homes, no price point. So if you're around the campfire or you're around the kitchen table or what have you, and we're talking about the real estate market in South Florida, and you can say, hey, I saw a video from Alex going from Indian River County all the way down into Dade County, and this is roughly how many properties were on the market and so forth. You could always clue them into my page. But this shows you right here that it runs very, very similar to the overall with condos, villas, and townhomes. This is single family homes. So if you look back to June of last year, it's a very similar tale, 12,839. So it's about half. The rest are condos, villas, townhomes, manufactured homes, duplexes, and so forth. So you can see that the single family homes is about half the inventory, and it did the same thing. It moved up from June, July, August, September, October, November, hit its top, and then December started creeping back down. The single family homes started going down a little faster than the condos, villas, and townhomes. Why is that? Typically in January and February is when the snowbirds come into town and they're buying those second properties that are the condos, villas, townhomes, duplexes, and so forth, right? So the single family home market typically goes a little faster than the condos, villas, and townhomes. So what you can see here at the end, as of last month, it was 12,816. You had 3,811 pendings, and then you had 3,551 solds. So what does that mean? Well, what that means, you can see over here, this gets a little choppy, this bar graph, price per square foot, but you can see in general that the price per square foot started going up right around the same time of February of last year, and it's right around an average of 428. Now remember, this is Indian River County all the way down to Dade. That's a lot of different properties and areas. Don't go thinking that the average price per square foot for your house is 428. This is a general aggregation of this data, all right? So let's move down. I want to show you as well days on market. This is a very, very important graph to show you days on market. I didn't show you for the overall market, but I think for the single family homes, you want to take a look at this. There's some interesting things going on here. The first thing that I want you to look at is going back to 7/22, 14 months ago. This up here, 96, that is the original listing price to sale price. So on average, this time last year, people were getting 96% of their original listing price to sale price. On average, it was 27 days on the market. So that's a very hot seller's market. They were getting very close to their asking price, and they were getting it very quickly. What happens here? You can see the days on the market starts going up. 32, 36, 41, hit its top where? 60 in February. Then it started going down. What also went down? The original listing price to sale price. So the days on market went up, and then people started taking less. I think that this is an important graph to see. The good news here for sellers and a little bit of room for the buyers to see some opportunity here is the days on market is coming down, and the original listing price to sale price has gone up a little bit since its lowest at 89% of original listing price to sale price there in February, and it's gone up to 92. So the market's recovered a little bit in regards to that. Now, coming back to the month's supply of inventory, going back to 7/22, it was obviously a seller's market back there, 3.1 months of inventory, just barely a neutral market. Now that crept up as the inventory came on the market, and we hit a top at 5.5 months of inventory, and that was in January. Look at what it does. It precipitously goes down from 5.5, 4.2, 2.7, and it rattled sideways here, kind of this sideways movement, 2.8, 2.4, 2.5, and now it's popped back up to 3.6. Now, we don't want to have full alarm bells going off here, like, oh, the inventory is rising. In certain categories, it is significantly rising, but in the single family home market, this is not a huge rise, and we're closer to a seller's market than we are a buyer's market in the overall. Now let's get into something that shows a full seller's market. This is all of the properties in MLS under 500,000 that are single family homes. Now, it was still a seller's market back here in July of last year, right? You can see the inventory rose. So even under properties under 500,000, it still rose into November. It went down a little bit faster for December, January, February, but it went significantly down. What is this telling us? That there's a massive want for single-family homes under 500,000, which is a very affordable price point given where the interest rates are for a lot of homeowners. So we had here last month, September was 22,910 under 500,000. We had 1,474 go under agreement. We had 1,391 sell. Now, if we look down here at this next graph, you can see that same trend. February, what did it go from 207? Well, then it went up to 256. And then it's gone sideways in the 250s up to 265 over the last 7 months. So what does this tell us? It actually is gradually increasing price per square foot on properties under 500,000. So this is telling us that we're an incredible seller's market in properties under 500,000. Let's look at this next graph. This is that days on the market. Looks very similar to the last graph, right? 25 days on the market, going up to 55 in January and February, and then it moves down to 42 days on the market. But look at that over there right now, 97%. People that have properties under 500,000 are getting on average 97% of their original listing price to sale price. Now, the last graph that I want you to look at here shows how different this is. Just going into a different price point. Now, also, side note, if you're in a county that is more affordable, maybe like an Indian River County or a St. Lucie County, it actually can be lower than this. So that's something you want to reach out to us. Depending on what market you're in, we can show you what the month supply of inventory is in that area, in that zip code. We can get hyper granular. Coming back to this graph, we're at 2.1 months of inventory. Not quite as low as we were in COVID, which was right around like 1.6, but pretty darn close. So we're at 2.1 months of inventory, which means that people are getting on average 97% of their asking price. The next thing I want to show you is this is single family homes over $1 million. So I kept out the 500 to $1 million. I just want to show you over $1 million, what a difference that makes in this overall market. Now you can see here that going back to July of last year, there's not as much of an ascension, but there isn't as much of a drop. So you know that old saying, the higher that goes, the harder it falls. We didn't really have a super high, so it's not a super low. But what we're seeing is we are seeing inventory go up more in that over $1 million on single family homes. If we look at this next graph, it's a little choppy, so X that out, don't even go price per square foot. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna go down to days on the market, right? So this is single family homes over $1 million, and you can see the tail right here. So July of last year, they were getting on average 94% of the original listing price to sale price. 38 days on the market was average. Now we're up to, let's just swing all the way over to the other side of that 14 months, on average getting 89% of their original listing price to sale price. And they're staying on the market almost double what we were, a little over 14 months ago. That's hyper valuable to know that over $1 million, look at this next graph. This next graph, over $1 million, look at this. We're fully in a buyer's market. Now, what I really want you to see from all of these graphs is that it depends on the area, it depends on the type of home, it depends on the price point. There's a lot of different variables that are going to put you either in a buyer's market or a seller's market, how many days on market on average it should be. I'm super passionate about this. Why? Because what I've found over the years, as I can come to a relationship with data, it helps us create a better relationship. So it helps me serve my customers at a higher level. All the agents on our team are very, very versed in using this system and this data aggregation to help you make a better decision, and that's what we're all about. So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.